And I believe we are live. Welcome everybody to episode 8, long overdue. We've just been talking about what's been happening in the last few episodes because we've all forgotten, so the DM will probably have to repeat himself. But that's fine. Also,
That's okay. He told us before we went live, so now he can offer up a point of inspiration for a recap, and we can.
I wasn't going to be that mean.
Myself. Actually, if anyone would like an inspiration to explain it to the viewers.
Yeah, what you said was we met the Tabaxi, we went through the dead forest, and there was a storm, and now we're camping in a not dead forest on the other side of the mountains, and it's all great.
Basically, you were actually then discussing where you go from here.
Yes.
You had acquired the gem on the other side of the mountains.
Yes, that's
and
right.
You've been warned by the Tabaxi several times about it.
We must take this gem to the other one and use it to destroy them.
And that's where you are then, deciding what to do.
But it will be dangerous.
Aren't we ahead? Basically, aren't we in front of the people who are behind us?
you were. You did see some lights, I believe, up on the mountain.
Right. So does that basically mean that instead of having to go a long route to avoid anything, we can actually just now go directly to the city, get there quicker, because we haven't got to avoid anything, because everything we have to avoid is actually behind us. In effect,
only the party that was chasing you is behind you.
Right. So there's a good chance there's more people up ahead of us.
Well, there's the whole Imperial Army somewhere.
Right.
I would like to go via my old chantry house, which is in Barston, on the outskirts. We may find it's on the western road and then north towards the capital city.
So it's a small detour.
It's initially in the wrong direction from Huthwaite, the capital, because you're going west. But yeah, you could go to there, and then you could go north to Radcliffe, where you actually started, and then back up the river to Huthwaite.
There was a library in the chantry, which may shed some light on the situation that we find ourselves in.
Well, in theory, considering we have the actual stone over us, and they can't do nothing without it, we can spend as much time as we want just gallivanting around, just holidaying, basically.
The longer we spend in the wild, though, the more time they have to figure out where we are and catch up with us.
Not if we change our names and wear hats.
Yes, I shall be a Tabaxi with a different name to the one I don't yet have.
Exactly. And that will confuse them, you see, so that we go holidaying. They must have resorts and this.
I think the thing is, you don't really know how to use these stones. So even if you did bring them together, you still need to know how to use them to destroy them. But you have been told that each stone does have a certain amount of power by itself still. Before you
Well, maybe we need to go find a scroll and then find out how to use it, and then go to a temple to destroy it, and then discover that when we get to that temple, the person who sent us there is actually the person who sent us on the mission in the first place. And it's all a trick.
What about there was that woman that the lady Cressida went to see, and she knew about the stones.
Mm-hmm. That's at the temple, yeah. That was on the way to Huthwaite. You stopped off about halfway and rode north first time, and that's when you came back to find your river barge burnt.
Why didn't you say? I had no idea about this woman. Let's go.
I think that would be a good place to go, and failing that, I think the library of Serbior is definitely.
Well, there's no time constraints to this, is it? We're not on a deadline or anything, are we?
No one's told you are.
No, we're not on a deadline, but we are being chased.
Right. So we could go both places, really, if we need to, can't we? So, I mean, there's no kind of, don't have to be anywhere exactly on a certain time or anything. And as long as we get ahead, or as long as they don't find it. you should be all right.
I mean, the river you would have to cross is quite a wide river. So you would, even if you got to the river, you'd still have to get your horses and stuff across.
Could you bring up that map you drew, perhaps, for us, GM, please?
These rivers have been right there, haven't they?
I don't know that I can. Let me try. Talk amongst yourselves. It's not as straightforward as that, because I have a different computer now, because mine, everyone went a bit wrong.
Oh, I see. I wonder if it's in the chat history.
That's what I'm looking. Yes, it is.
It is.
So I can bring that up. If I can get that downloaded, I will share a screen share. Save photo. Where did that save? There we go. Desktop. Right. So open that up a second. Must be that one. Which it is. And share screen. Where's that to? Up in the top.
It'll definitely be easier than using the reflection in your glasses.
Okay.
Especially for the viewers at home.
Oh no.
Oh, quick, it's all his notes. Print screen.
I'm stopping that one because that's the wrong screen. That's the messenger chat. I want to share this screen and minimize that. So there we go.
Okay, so
have,
could you put the mouse where we are?
I'm just gonna zoom view. You are here.
Okay, and Halfweight is where? Big city. Okay. Where was that woman in the temple?
Up here.
Oh.
Off the map.
Yes, because this map was from Huthway down to here. That's where you were. That's the route. That's the dead forest. That's the trail you've taken up over this mountain, and you are now here.
Right. I see. So, and Sir Beale's thing will be off this map as well. Yes.
It'll be over this way.
Yeah.
So that actually hasn't helped as much as I'd like.
There was an earlier map with less detail. Even less detail.
Yeah, nothing's as close as before, is it really? Everything got further away.
No, it's not really a quick detour at all.
I was thinking like the temple was around here. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. The temple did a
Hang on a minute.
And
hang on. Sir Beale's place is west then north, yeah? How far west?
It's going to be a few days west. That's when you will reach Sebrior's place, but then it will be and then a couple of days again up to Radcliffe.
Well, that's not so bad, is it? Because if you think about the fact we're being pursued, they certainly won't expect us to head due west,
and then
go to Sir Beale's place, then we go north, and we come into the city from the other side. Our pursuers will have no idea.
No, they'll just think we want to get away as quickly as possible. Just straight up the road.
Even as a route, that's not so bad.
So I think it's the best option we've got anyway.
Do it in that order, and we'll learn things as we go.
Yeah, is that what you want to do?
I think so, but I have a question for Sir Beale.
Yes.
You mentioned that you are the last of your order, but your order has a library. So, is this a derelict library? With catacombs and dead things?
It was in the cellars of the chantry. I have not been there since my fellow knights were slain. I am expecting there to be a librarian still in residence, unless he has left, with there being no one to pay him. But this is perhaps a week, 2 weeks past now, so he may still be there. We may be lucky.
Your order has only just been wiped out?
It's a while ago it's been wiped out.
Still, that would explain why the Domain of Silver has never heard of your library.
It's because those guys in the temple were no, they weren't of your order, were they?
I think you said they were, but
Yes,
I
they
thought
were.
they were an earlier expedition. I didn't think those were the last.
No, they weren't. That's right. Yes, they were an earlier expedition from your order.
So the elimination of your order then was a very recent thing.
I think it may be tied to this royal squabble that's going on.
Right.
But I don't know all the
idea.
details. I was hoping to find some more information as well.
I had no idea you were such dangerous cargo for us.
Well,
I think Sir Bayor, because he was coming back with you on the boat when you landed at Radcliffe, was sort of almost like on a mission while this happened.
Well, yes, he was summoned to Cressida's side.
Yes. Possibly saved your life. From what I can deduce so far.
You did.
Right. Well, let's head to your chapter house then.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
this way. Follow me.
Still, Sabea's right, there may be a few grisly characters there,
there could be.
depending on
So
how
right.
well maintained the place is.
We're substantially armed.
You are quite formidable at the moment, I believe.
Yes. And I've seen Sabea in a fight. He's very effective.
But it depends on what you've seen. You have to see it to believe it.
Well,
So-
I saw him cleaning up the mess I left.
So you wait until the next morning after to have your long rest.
Yeah.
And in the morning, in the sort of like in the damp, dewy morning, you sort of pack up to set off. You go off down through the trees downhill, heading sort of slightly west. But when the valley sort of widens out, you can properly track west along the foot of the mountains. Are you staying away from people? Are you going through villages, or are you making a point of keeping out of sight?
My view on this is this close to the mountains, we shouldn't reveal ourselves to villagers because our pursuers might hear tale of us heading west.
I agree.
Once we're gone west, I think we'll be a lot safer.
Okay, that'll entail a little bit of sneaking around and going a tad out of your way to get around villages. But you can head west for a couple of days without much trouble. You camp out of sight of villages overnight, and you can take it pretty reasonably easy, getting a bit of a rest as you go. And within a couple of days, you can see smoke rising in the distance. Quite a lot of smoke from chimneys, and Sir Bayor knows that this is Barston, which is quite a reasonable sized town.
Yeah, I was imagining the chapter house would be on the outskirts.
Yes, the chapter house is quite a tall tower. It rises quite high into the sky from on the southern side of the town. It stands outside the city walls. It's actually ringed by a protective curtain wall of its own. It's a square tower in the sort of like form of like a Norman castle, but it's a lot taller. Are you heading to Barston, or are you going straight to this tower?
I'm contemplating how to approach. I was thinking of going straight to the tower, but whether I wear my garb or just go as a regular mercenary or something, I don't really know. might attract too much attention if I ride in with the. Yeah, I'll strip out of my tabard and any gear relating to my order.
Are you all going forward, or
If Sabea leads us forward, yes, I suggest that Sabea leads us in this endeavour.
hang on just a sec. Yes, you can all go forward quite easily if you all sort of like disguise. You all got riding cloaks on and stuff. I take it.
I mean, I would imagine that if there was anything bad living in this tower, that the townsfolk would know of it.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's people on the road past the tower, and there's people in the fields as you approach. But
I don't see any threatened or anyway. What I'm saying is, if there was bad things living there that were coming out and killing things, then the town would probably have done something about it by now. Probably.
There's nothing particularly to make you wary about the setting. Like I say, there's people working in the fields.
All I'm thinking is that we don't need to approach it with stealth just to check it out. We're not going to get shot at by arrows from some battlement.
It's my experience that one of the most dangerous creatures you can find in these kind of places are humans.
Oh yeah, of course, but I'm not thinking that if there's anything living in the tower that could be a threat.
Yes, humans.
Well, apart from
So, are you all of you going up?
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Approach the main door.
Okay, so you approach the main door. You can see a couple of guards, obviously sort of like civilian soldiers, just sort of leaning against the gate posts. They have like tall, rusty spears, a couple of like rusting helmets, and just normal clothes on.
They've been populated by bandits. We're a very poor militia.
Well, ride up and rein in when I approach.
Yeah, I'm gonna take at the front with Bayor and follow his lead, but just kind of look sort of official with him.
They don't seem to notice you straight away. They seem to be quite really sort of like not paying attention at all, almost dozing actually. And suddenly one of them sees you and makes a comment, and everyone straightens up and looks around, and they sort of look at each other, and as you approach, they sort of halt. What do you want?
Hail.
I seek audience with the master of this place.
And they look at each other and goes, what sort of business have you got here?
Nightly business.
There's no knights here. You'll be on your way.
What do you mean there's no knights here? Who runs this place then?
Days.
Well, the Chancellor's here, but
Then we shall see him.
Indeed.
and who are you then?
I'm his bodyguard.
Yes, a sideline.
Bodyguard, is it? Wow, in that posh. What does he need bodyguarding for?
The strong needs a bodyguard too.
And one of them will look back through the gate and he'll shout, and it will come a child, basically almost in like rags, and he'll talk to him, and the kid will go running off. So he says, "Will you just wait there a minute, and we'll get someone." And they sort of talk amongst themselves while this kid's run off.
Okay, so wait patiently.
Yeah.
Eyeing them up and wondering which one I should run through first.
Well, they're looking pretty sort of like bedraggled. I mean, obviously the hair that you can see is pretty straggly. They're not shaven. One of them's got sort of like the remains of his last meal driven down his chin and over his breastplate. And it's all quite rusty and tattered. and they sort of they're eyeing you quite suspiciously.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Bayo because I know they're easy pickings as well, but also I want this to keep civil if possible.
And after a short time, the kid runs back and talks to one of them, and he looks up and looks inside and looks back at you and says, well, he says, you apparently you can come in, but you better be careful. We'll be watching you.
Oh, I
G my horse forward, brushing him aside as it walks forward.
Is the done thing to give a tip?
Yeah, it's says one of them. Yeah.
Yes. Then call for reinforcements if you're going to watch us.
That sort of tip.
Oh. I see. Never mind.
So as you go through the gates into the courtyard beyond, it is pretty empty. What you see is down the steps of the main tower. There's about 3 or 4 guards walking down the steps, dressed pretty much the same as the ones on the gate, and they're walking towards you. In the yard, there's a few chickens. There's a stall with some pigs in. There's some people, some women doing some grinding some corn, and a few small shacks have been erected against the inside of the walls. And there's a few people in there, and they just sort of watch you as you walk past. And these 4 guards come down the steps and stop at the bottom of the steps and wait for you.
Are these guards any better presented than the ones outside, or are they still the same sort of?
A little bit better presented, but still not.
Okay.
Sort of like any sort of like standard what you'd expect in an army at all.
Okay.
So one of them says as you arrive at the foot of the steps, he says, well, you better dismount and tell us your business.
My name is Sir Bayor. I shall dismount. I seek to speak to your master.
Well, he's very busy. He says he's got this place to run.
I was under the impression that this place, as you call it, is the chantry house of a knightly order.
Yep.
I'll be looking around.
He's looking after it until they return. He says he's the boss here. So you better tell us what you want, so we can tell him, so he knows whether he's going to let you in or not.
Tell him the owner has returned.
And he looks at he looks all of you actually. He says, well, which one of you's that then?
I'll stop looking around and just stare straight into his eyes. It is I, Sir Bayor.
It gives him a bit of pause for a time, and he sort of looks a little bit undecided what to do, but he turns and walks back up the steps, leaving the other 3 in front of you. And after a couple of minutes, him and a red-robed man comes out. The guy's pretty dark hair, but a white beard, quite dark red robes, but trimmed with gold. And he comes down the steps. He says, someone here is claiming to be one of the knights of this order.
Indeed, as I reach onto the horse and take down the shield and remove the white cloth that was covering the design.
He says, he looks at the shield and then looks up into your face. And he says, Bayor, isn't it? It's Bayor. Oh, I didn't expect to see anyone anymore. I thought you were all gone.
Do I recognise him?
You recognise him as he was like the chief accountant, chancellor of the order. He's the one that looked after the money, paid all the bills, that sort of thing.
I was hoping he'd be the caretaker. That'd be awful.
He says, I didn't expect to see anybody from the Order anymore. I thought you'd all gone.
There aren't many of us left. What's going on here? Gesture around at these makeshift buildings and the pigs running around and the urchins.
Well, I've got to have someone to keep the place going, he says, and all the old servants were too expensive, so I've got some people in that appreciate how much money costs and are willing to work for it.
Yes, you always were frugal.
Says, well, I suppose you better come in then, I suppose, and
yes, if you could have someone tend to our horses. These are my friends. We're in this together.
and he sort of like clicks his fingers at the guards and points at the horses. And as they're leading the horses away, you get dismounting and going in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. As they're leading the horses away, you hear one of them say under their breath, "Oh, these horses, they'd last us for weeks."
I stop in my tracks and turn. What was that?
Oh, no, nothing, my lord, nothing. Just jesting.
Good, then sure it is a jest. I'll turn back and carry on.
And as you go inside, the main hall you walk into, the first hall you walk into, is quite dishevelled. It's not being looked after very well. It's dirty. The walls and the paintings and the tapestries are all looking a little bit dishevelled. Places have been cleaned in quite a long time with any sort of like real attempt. And there's a few more guards just hanging about, and a few kids are playing, running outdoors and things. And there's a few chickens clucking around. And he says, "You better come up to the higher levels." He said, "Come up to my rooms."
Is it like this everywhere?
No, he says, no, but we've only got limited resources. We look after the parts of the castle we can, but the actual tower is sound, he says. So he leads you upstairs, and he's yabbering away all the time. And how did you get away? How did you find out about the rest of the order and things like that? Asking you questions and
Yeah. Okay. As he is leading us towards the stairway, I'll just gesticulate to our elven friend, whose name Farlin. Is it? Where the doors to the cellar is.
Oh, okay. You're going to indicate to me
Just in case, yeah. Cellars are down there. Yes. I was on, if you recall, I was on the mission far to the east.
Oh yes, he said,
collecting some things, some scrolls and certain items, most of which I failed to acquire for one reason or other. And upon my return, I find this. The order is decimated, gone almost.
Yes. Well, we'll have to talk about that when we're a bit more comfortable, he says. But come on upstairs. And as he's leading up, he says, "Shame about that mission." He says, "That was bloody expensive sending you that distance." And
shaking my head.
He's leading you up to like the departments of like the commanders, and he leads you. When he gets to the top of this first flight, he turns and leads you up another flight, and he's leading you to like the Lord Commander's chambers. And he throws open, and up here it's looking a lot tidier. Everything's looking new, looked after. Any paintwork is fresh, the wood is polished, and he leads you to some quite ornate doors that he throws open to the Lord Commander's apartments. And inside there's fine furniture, there's sweet smelling scent burning, there's fruit on the tables, light pouring in through the windows, and expensive cloths hanging from the walls. He said, come in, he says, please, and take a seat, all of you. We'll get this sorted out now.
I curl up on the bed.
The bed is in a different room. This is almost like a large reception room. The bed is through another doorway.
Okay, I open the doors and curl up on the bed.
So says, take a seat. Oh, I think he watches you go past.
I'll be making myself comfortable and just remark. So you have ensconced yourselves in the master's rooms.
Well, he said, I needed more space, he said, and there's no one using these rooms. So yeah, I took advantage, I suppose, he said, but there is no Lord Commander anymore anyway.
No.
Are you returning, he says? Are you staying, are you? Or are you going soon? Is there anything we can do to help you on your way?
I think that is a matter that I must discuss with higher authorities. For if the order is down to one or a handful even of men, then it is not performing sufficiently to maintain itself. So I would imagine the order may be disbanded. In that case, I will be seeking a new order. If the order is to remain, then I shall be returning. Indeed, as commander, all being well.
He said, well, I'm very surprised at that, he says, because of what happened.
What did happen?
Well, there was a rumor of treachery against the Empire, and all the knights were sort of were arrested.
Alarm bells.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was so surprised to see anyone, he said. I thought you'd all been arrested or killed.
No, I managed to evade that until this moment. I go over to the window and just have a cursory look out. Do I see any guards running up the street?
But surely the Emperor actually rewarded you after the extermination, did he not?
He did reward Sir Bayor, yes.
He did. He gave me. That's true.
He gave you an estate.
That's true. He must have known what happened. This doesn't make sense.
Are you saying that to the guy in front
I
of you?
say that out
Yeah.
loud.
And then I'd be just talking half to myself and half to anyone who was listening.
But you've met the Emperor, he said. You've seen it recently.
We did, yes.
Oh, well, I can't think of what happened, he said. He seems quite confused. He tries to stand up. He says, I'll get some drinks, he says, and some refreshments and some for you.
Ah, splendid. I was waiting for you to say that.
And he goes over to a large sideboard and starts putting out goblets and great big tankards of wine.
Like an out
And
pipe.
he's muttering to himself all the time. And he comes back with a tray of tankards that he sets down and then goes back for two big jugs, silver jugs of wine. He puts on the table and says, starts pouring them out.
So, of course, if I am to be the commander of this establishment, I will need capable chancellor, someone who has his finger on the pulse.
Yes, of course, he said. Always here to serve the order. You know me. Loyal to the last. He said, that's why I'm the only one left.
Have the librarians gone?
Well, yes, he said. The librarians have gone as well. He said, yes. We've laid everybody off effectively and taken on the people we see down below. He says, they're a lot cheaper than paying what we were paying before.
I hope they're paying proper attention and tending to the ledgers below. And cellars.
The library said has probably no one's entered that in quite a few years.
Well, perhaps we should. After a drink.
Aye.
There you are, bodyguard. Have some beer.
Thank you, very glad.
So yes, he's sort of like he's sort of like pausing before he drinks and sort of like he's obviously away thinking about something else. He's obviously
Okay. Did it seem suspicious? Could we test for
you can.
what's it called?
Do you want a perception?
That's the one.
Wouldn't it be insight if you're checking him?
Oh, insight.
Yeah.
I suppose it would be. Sorry, insight.
Insight, yes. There used to be another skill, wasn't there? Not insight. I'll check insight. Insight is a.
Oh yeah, it was sense motive. It used to be.
That was it. Yeah. All right. I rolled a 3, so I think I failed regardless of what it was.
I don't sense anything.
Yeah.
You don't sense
Oh, he's fine. He's just got something on his mind. So
Well, you know him. He's always been a bit of a shifty character.
Can I try, because I've been kind of standing at the back leaning against the door jam, just watching everything that's kind of going on.
Yeah.
Not really getting involved, but in my, like I always do, I sit and watch and look at everything and keep an eye on stuff. So it's insight. It's not very good. Wisdom, which is my lowest stats. 5, so 8. So I picked nothing up, so yeah, he seems fine with me.
Apart from what you can all just generally tell, that it seems to be a reasonably strange sort of setup. You don't know anything more than that, but it does seem obvious. It does seem obvious to be a bit of a strange sort of.
Here's the thing I can't work out, I shout from the bedroom. If the order was killed by treachery from within, then surely that means the traitor was in the order. And if there's only one person in the order left, then surely that's the traitor. Oh, did I say I can't work that out? Sorry. I guess I did.
Huh.
He sort of stops drinking and he says, "Perhaps we should check the library out if that's what you're interested in."
yes, we will. Lead on.
Ledgers, perhaps. What? Just how much did you accrue in personal wealth?
Well, me personally, nothing. I'm as poor as a church mouse. He says, I'm just caretaking the everything for the order.
With your own castle?
Well, someone has to look after it.
Servants, soldiers.
What are you alluding to?
Well, there are, let's say, 2 members of the order left. It's you and Sir Bael, so one of you is obviously the traitor within.
Oh, Sir Bayor, this is your friend. This is casting aspersions on my honor. This is intolerable.
Yeah, she does have a way with words.
I shan't answer such accusations. I will give them the sort of time they deserve. That's just...
Indeed. Until such times as matters are discovered, then yes, I agree.
As you wish, Sir Bale.
And he is noticeably now uncomfortable in age. Yes, I'll get someone. I'll summon someone to take you up to the library. He said.
Well, can't you lead us?
I was just about to start some work. He said, I'm very busy, very busy. There's a lot to do.
You have illustrious guests and visitors. Surely you can spare us some time.
Very, very well, very well. Yes, okay, follow me, please, follow me. And he takes you out and leads you away from out of his room, and leads you away from the staircase you come up on. And down the corridor, he turns the corner, and there's 2 staircases going up left and right. He takes up the right-hand staircase. So, Baylor, you know that this actually does lead to the library. I don't know how much time you previously spent in the library. But at the top of the stairs, there's a short corridor with some doors leading off of it. He leads you to the double doors at the end of the corridor. He takes a key from a chain on his belt and unlocks the door and pushes it open. And inside there is it's a fairly dusty room. It's very dark. It's covered. There's a few tables, and it seems to be lined with shelves. And he says, you'll have to open the shutters on the windows, he says. Like I said, no one's been up here for a long time.
Okay, yeah. I'll start unbarring and opening the shutters.
And as you open the shutters, the light streaks in, and you get that sort of beam effect you do when the dust has been disturbed and is hanging in the air. And it illuminates the tables covered with scrolls and bookcases framed in the walls. Well, he says there's the library. Like I say, it's not been touched in a long time.
What would libraries with a cellar?
Library's not in the cellar, no.
Oh.
Well, that's where I remember some of it being. Perhaps they moved it around.
Everything's up here, he says.
Perhaps we'll retcon that bit.
There's nothing in the cellars. Nothing in the cellars anymore. We moved it up here some time ago.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been too damp in the cellar.
Well, the last librarian wanted it up here, he says. Perhaps that's why that might have been his reasoning. I'm really not too sure.
More light.
I'm going to, as everybody's kind of concentrating on opening windows and this, that, and the other, I'm going to turn and head on back down the stairs, and nobody's looking at me because I've stayed pretty much to the back. So I'm going to head on down the stairs to the cellar. So I want to see what is actually down there.
Okay.
So I'm sure there was some indication that there was something in the cellar.
You can retrace your steps quite easily. It's only been on a few flights you've gone up, so you can trace your steps quite easy, and you arrive back in the main hall with the outside door.
Right.
There's still a few people in there. There's still a couple of guards, and they watch you as you come down, and a couple of kids rushing around.
Yeah, I'll completely ignore everybody and just head towards the direction that the Bayor indicated earlier.
And one of the guards will say, "Hey, you! What do you think you're doing? You should be there."
I'm heading into the cellar.
Yes, you got no reason to be in the cellar. Be off of you.
I have every reason to be in the cellar. Lord Sir Bayor asked me to go there. And as he is kind of the only knight alive, he's kind of sort of, I'm going down there. Of course, you can always go upstairs and ask Sir Bayor if this is all right.
The Chancellor runs this place. He says you've got no business coming.
Yeah. You go upstairs and ask Sir Bayor what you want me, what you should do. And while you're doing that, I'll head on down the cellar and I'll look at what I need to look at.
He'll say, "You wait there. You've got to get the Chancellor and see what he says."
I'll just try to keep on going down the cellar.
Okay, the guy will walk forward and put his hands on your arm to stop you.
I'll break his arm.
Okay. If you'd like to roll me some break damage.
Don't break the arm down. Hey! No, actually, I'm going to grab his arm and pop my dagger to his throat.
You did what?
And then a stampede of elephants comes through the house.
Sorry, what did you roll, Jack?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna. If he grabs my arm, if he grabs me, right, whatever, I'm gonna grab his arm and then pop my dagger to his throat, and just as a warning more than anything else. What would you want me to roll? Dexterity, probably.
Yeah, roll me a dex for that. And if you're going to warn him off, intimidation.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do a dex roll to see. 11, 16.
Okay, yeah, you beat him. So you twist him around, he goes, and he drops his spear onto the floor. And he's standing there with his arm twisted behind his back, and it's not in your knife at his throat.
I go, as you're not in charge here, and the chances are that Sir Baal is, and he happens to be a friend of mine, I would basically back off from trying anything too soon, because it may end up being you hanging from a noose. So until we find out what's actually happening, I would suggest you just let me get on with what I'm doing. Because whatever happens is going to end up in my favour.
Okay. So, what have you got?
Huh?
Intimidation, please.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, wait, yeah, I'm just telling you a fact. 17.
Oh, you beat him again. So he's all right. Okay, Gov.
Oh, I got
Gov. Let me go, you're breaking my arm.
I'll let him go and continue on towards the cellar.
And he's got like, he stands back, he doesn't pick his spear up, but he's rubbing his arm, he's rubbing his upper arm. And he's watching you.
Yeah. I'll do the whole him and just walk off into the cellar.
Okay, so you push open the door to the cellar. Stairs go down in front of you, and you can see that it's at the top of the stairs. There's a lit torch, a couple of lit torches one on either side.
Wow, that's handy. So they do use it then. Otherwise, why would these torches be lit? Okay, I'll head down. But as the torches are lit, I'm kind of now a bit cautious because there might be something down here who they don't want me to find. So I'm going to stealth my way down as slowly as I possibly can.
Okay, because you are a half elf, aren't you?
No, I'm a full elf. I'm a wild elf. Stop calling me a half elf.
Sorry.
I'm a wild elf. That's why I don't like humans very much, and I don't particularly recognise their emperor.
So you're not taking a torch with you then?
No.
Okay, so you go down into the darkness.
Because it's already lit with a torch. You just said there's two.
At the top of the stairs. There's two.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, yeah, I'm going to keep on going down here.
Okay.
Stealthing it, as I said.
You get to the bottom, and the cellar, when you get to the bottom, there's a T-junction. There's a blank wall in front of you, and it goes off left and right, effectively.
Can I hear any noises even from either end?
You can't hear any noises from either end. You can
See light.
from the right-hand side, you can feel like there's a breath of air moving from the right-hand side. From the left-hand side, you can feel nothing. You can smell a bit of a foul odour from the right-hand side. But,
Is that the way to go then? Foul odours and wind.
But nothing from the left-hand side.
Well, I'll head right, because why not?
Okay, head right. After a short way, you see stairs leading down yet again. Short flight of stairs. And when you get down to the next level, there's a row on either side of the corridor of cells.
The cells down here, is there?
That's on the side of the cells. They're quite actually. The doors are in very poor condition. There's no light down here, and no sound.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go and just peer into each cell and see if they're occupied or not.
The only thing you see in the cells, at best, is dead bodies.
Okay, I'm going to open one of the cells and have a look inside. Are any of the cells already all locked or any of them open?
The cells are all locked.
I want to basically just go, if I've got to pick lock one, then I'll pick lock one. But I want to go basically and see if these bodies, or any way of telling who these bodies are, if they're wearing for example, if they're wearing the insignia of the order.
Okay, there's 10 cells, 5 on each side. What cell do you want to pick? 1 to 10.
4.
Okay. Yeah, 4 is locked. If you want to get in, you're going to have to pick it.
Okay. So that's sleight of hand, isn't it? In this.
Yep.
Well, I'm good at sleight of hand. 21.
Oh yes, you pick the lock with no trouble at all. It's a fairly basic lock. It's quite big and clunky. So obviously for a big chunky key, there's no trouble in you picking this lock at all. And you push the door open, and the hinges are quite rusty, so you have to push it open with a bit of force.
All right.
And you get in there, and there is a body half hidden in straw inside.
I'm going to check the body out. I want to see if any of these bodies are wearing anything, like except signal the order or something.
Okay, so I forget what are the knights called? They used to wear like a tabard over the chainmail.
The Templars.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah, tabard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a emblem on his chest.
Is it the same emblem that's a B or Boar had?
He's got a chainmail. He has got a tabard.
Silver fist.
What's the symbol on the tabard? Sorry.
A silver fist.
That's what's on the tabard, is it, Phil?
Yeah.
So these are from his order.
Yep.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Okay, I'll leave the cells. I'm on the left-hand path to see what's down there.
Okay. You felt and heard nothing. It's a short way down this corridor. Then again, mirroring the other side, the stairs dip down.
Yeah.
Okay. When it levels out again, there are a number of satellite doors like you see in the first one, but these are all brand new.
Okay. And then like cell doors again, are they?
Yeah, there's no windows in these.
Okay. I'm going to go to. How many are there?
10. There are wood doors. They're metal braced. They are quite well made, quite new.
Can I hear anything down here? Okay, I'm going to walk up to one of the doors and open it if it's openable. Open it.
Okay. They're all locked.
I'll try and unlock it then.
If you go again.
I rolled 13.
13. Okay. Yes, you've made that one.
Okay.
Push it open. This door opens easily. The hinges have been greased.
Right.
There's no sound as it opens.
Anybody inside?
What's inside is piled up boxes and bags and packages.
I'll pop one open and see what's inside them.
You pop open a chest or a box, and inside there are gold coins.
So this could be, in fact, the treasury that used to be here at one point. I'll close the door again behind me and go check another door on the other side, number 7 or whatever the opposite door is.
Yeah, you can get into there, and you open up another crate, and it's full of like cloth of gold, billets and billets of cloth of gold.
So this is basically okay, right? I'm gonna close the door and head on back up again to the thingy, and go back up to the main floor again.
What's everyone else doing while this is going on?
Well, we're in the library.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to cast Detect Magic straight away.
Okay.
Okay.
In fact, just in case it in some way helps, I'm gonna get out the stone, and I'll have that in my hand as I cast Detect Magic, and the hope that if there is a scroll to do with this stone, maybe that might help.
Okay. So that makes things glow, doesn't it?
Detect Magic causes things to glow. I light up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, you see there's a bit of a glow coming from one end of the bookcase in the corner.
Okay, I'm heading beeline.
Okay, so Rorik, what are you doing?
I was. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Peyton? No, sorry, Rorik, yeah. What are you doing?
It is right. I was gonna basically sort of scour around the room, see if there were any kind of sort of points where the ground became hollow, perhaps? Because I did have a bit of a similar idea. It's like, well, where are these people gone? You know, have they been stuffed into the floorboards type thing? So I'm just sort of pacing around, sort of tapping, drawing my hand across the bookshelves.
Okay. So, and so Bayor, what are you up to?
I was more interested in finding out some information about the group that went south into the desert. So I'll be tracking back to that sort of period.
Records, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So these records are on parchments. They're still out on the table. They haven't actually been bound into the books yet. These seem to be some of the last records that was made by the order.
All right.
So yeah, you can find those, and you can. It's going to take a little bit to read them. Take a little time to read those.
I shall begin.
So, Kat, you find the book, and you actually pull it from the bookcase. It's a small, almost like an A5 sized book, leather bound in blue leather, with an engraving of a circle on the front with a flame on top. Are you gonna?
Yeah. Explosive runes, huh? Invert to detonate, you know. See back for instructions, invert to detonate.
That's a good idea. I have to remember that. Yeah, so you open it up, and it does seem to be. It claims to be inside the cover of a record of some of the earliest happenings on the Earth, on the planet. It tells of the beginning times and of stones and of the gods and all sorts of things like that pertaining to particularly the gods and the stones.
Okay. I'm going to climb up on top of the bookshelves, lie down, and start reading.
Okay. So you're doing that. So Bayor, you've read into this now. You know that the Emperor summoned your fellows and sent them south to find a stone. His court mages told him that the time was near and the stone would soon be falling to earth, and they were tasked with retrieving it for him. You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you. Right, now, I can't remember whether I heard about that chap that Roderick saw in the capital city. Now, if as I'm reading through, I see a list of names of knights.
I think you did, because I think you mentioned it when you were in the temple in the south.
Right, so perhaps there's a name there that I didn't encounter when I was burying the ones down south.
Yes, there will be. He will be listed as one of the knights that went, and there's one more knight listed than you've buried.
So I'm not the last. That brings a wry smile to my face, a sad smile. I must find him.
Rorik, as Kat is searching around the room for this book, she has the stone out, and as she passes you with the stone, you get a bit of a feeling, a bit of a surge. You sort of stand upright, and you get a bit of a power feeling as she passes you in the stone.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way. It feels really good. It feels like like you've taken something and you. After that first couple of pints, when you feel like you can do anything. And
Kat, is that book in common?
I don't know. What language is it that I'm reading?
It is in common because it's been translated by the order, or copied by the order.
Once you finish reading it, let me have it.
Would you like a bedtime story? I can read it aloud. It's about the creation of the world. It appears to be a religious text of some description. I'm consuming it now.
Well, I'd rather hold the book
The
myself.
knowledge. I'm consuming the knowledge.
Yes, I'm sure you won't take very long with that. But yeah, feel free to give me the book. I want to read it later.
Yes, it's important. It's about our quest.
Okay, and now Valen comes back into the room.
So I don't get stopped by anybody on the way up then.
Everyone's staying well away from you.
Good for them. Okay, I'm gonna slowly saunter over to Bale and say, have a word.
Yes, of course.
Take him into a dark part of the library.
I'll just put a bookmark or a paperweight or something on the location where I was in the scrolls. And yes, what can I do?
Yeah, so I'll take him to where we can sort of talk alone. And I go, Bale, I need to tell you something. I think I love you, and I'm having your baby.
Oh,
No, I've just been into the cellar, like you suggested. And what I found out may be a little bit of a surprise. In one part, there's some good news and some bad news. The good news is, I think I may have found all the order's wealth. They seem to be locked away indoors. There's boxes of gold and various other valuables. You'll be glad to know I didn't take any of it. And it's all down there. The bad news is that I also found a group of cells which seem to be populated by dead members of your order.
dead. I need to see this.
Well, the guards seem to be very, very anti me going in there. I mean, I persuaded them otherwise. We just had a little bit of a chat, and they decided that it would be in their best interest to let me in. In which case, that's what I discovered. So I'm not too sure they're wanting us to know this is going on. I'm guessing that the Chamberlain, your Re-Chamberlain, probably is fully aware of what's happening down there.
Chamberlain! Bellow out loud.
Okay, you notice he's we've all been busy. He's gone.
Shout him again as I'm heading for the door.
Okay, you don't get a response.
He did say he was a busy man after all.
Yes, I think things may be taking a turn. Ready yourselves for combat.
Indeed.
If it makes you feel better, Sir Bayard, I never for one moment thought you were the traitor.
Thank you for that vote of confidence, Cat.
So, what, are you headed straight into the cellars? You?
Yep. Right. If there's treachery, there's obviously something bad going on. So my sword will be loose, ready to grab.
Lead the way, Lord Commander.
So, as you
Do I? You want me, or can I read this book?
You and your staff may be of use.
Okay.
You can read that later on the road, perhaps.
I'll slink down from the bookshelf then.
you head back down to the ground floor. On the way down, you don't see anybody, but when you reach the top of the stairs down to the first hall you came into, you can see about 6 guards lined up, 3 wide, in 2 rows across the hall, waiting for you.
Okay.
What's the meaning of this?
We've been told to arrest you. You're impersonating Knights of the Order. The Chancellor says that we're to take you into custody.
Very well. You won't mind if I resist, will you? Shing.
It'd be quite hard to arrest us when you're dead.
they said, there's more of us than there are of them. Okay, so they start walking forward towards the stairs. Are you coming down to them?
Yep.
I want to shoot one of them.
Okay, you can shoot one of them. If you want to roll me a shooty roll.
Shooty roll. Okay. Oh, that's quite good. 26.
26. Well, that's it.
Okie doke. And damage will be an 8 and a 4, which is 12.
12. Okay, yeah. You. So as the two groups are coming together and meeting, any particular one you're aiming for, or
just one of them in the middle, preferably, so that everybody around them can be just being shot.
Okay, so you shoot at one of the guys in the front row in the middle one in the front row.
Just in hope that the others may look and think, hold on a second, maybe we shouldn't bother.
You hit him and he drops.
Yeah.
The others stop and sort of look at each other and sort of like take a step back, but they don't advance any further. Someone else from the back says, come along, we have to have our orders. You must surrender. It's no good. You're only going to get into more trouble.
Yeah.
Lord Commander, what should we do?
And they'll sort of look at each other and say, Lord Commander, what do we...
Yes, you have the opportunity to surrender yourselves now or face consequences. Your orders have come from a traitor. Therefore, they have no standing.
Okay, if you could do me a persuasion roll.
What Sean Connery type of persuasion?
Persuasion.
Persuasion?
That would be a 10, so yeah.
No, so they hold the ground. One of them walks forward and has his spear level and says, If you really are who you say you are, you must fear, he says. You come with us now. Put your sword away.
I'll shoot another one.
Okay, if you want to do another roll, is anyone else going to do
I'll
it?
shoot the one that actually does approach him with a spear. Oh, it's a natural 20. Yeah. So that's 29 when I go, but that was a natural 20.
Okay.
What happens when I roll a natural 20?
Double damage.
Oh, it's another 8. And 2. That's 10, so 20 points of damage.
Okay. You drop the next one. And all the remaining 4 turn and run at the door.
Solved, I'll say, from the stand.
Well done.
Well, that was a pity. I was looking forward to a fight.
No, you know, they're not going to stand up to much, will they? It wouldn't be much of a fight, I don't think.
Yeah, I still need to see bodies on
So
the wealth.
Show where they are and Megan?
Yeah, I'll take them down
I'll guard the top of the cellar while they're in there.
to Crazy Town.
Okay.
If anyone's setting fire to this place while they're in there, it's me.
Are you taking the torches with you, or one of the torches?
That might be a good idea.
Okay, so you go to the cell. He shows the cell is opened, and there is indeed a dead knight in on the floor. He shows you to the second, because you opened 2 cells, didn't you?
I opened 1.
Okay.
2 treasure rooms.
Yeah, and 2 treasure room doors. I only opened 1 because really that's all you need to look at, really.
Okay. Yeah, so there is a dead knight in here.
How long has he been dead? Can I tell? roughly.
How long? I can't remember now how long we said it's been since you went on your mission.
Right. I don't think that amount of time was actually determined. I was imagining it was weeks, but sounds like it might have been years. So we'll say months.
Okay. He's
Split
been.
the difference.
You think he's probably been dead for about maybe a month less than you've. He was killed like a month after you left.
Right. So it's going to be pretty far gone. Maybe not easily identified, unless he has like a
Yeah,
some
I'm
kind
gonna sweep the
distinguishing
torch around.
mark.
Any sort of jewellery he might have been wearing has been removed.
Yeah, I'm gonna sweep my torch around and see if there's any more knights in the cells as well.
Look in the other cells.
Hmm.
Yeah, there are. Their bodies, maybe even sometimes 2 or 3 bodies in a cell.
Are they all sort of deteriorated around the same amount, or are some more recent?
Some are a little bit more recent, but not sort of like months and months. But they've been dead for quite a while, all of them. But some are a little bit better off than others. They obviously died weeks apart rather than, but still months ago.
Do you know, Sabayor, if any of the order was, say, missing a finger or had a tattoo of some sort, a brand?
I probably know some of that ilk.
You know that the Lord Commander had quite a severe scar on his left arm, running from his shoulder down past his elbow, that he got in a fight in the borderlands.
Oh, see if I can locate that.
And yes, indeed, you can. He's also noticeable because he's quite a big chap, so it's quite a big body, and the body you find is actually quite shrunken. Obviously, he didn't have much food before the end. He didn't eat very much, but has died nevertheless. And if you want to do me a medicine roll, anybody that's there?
And I got an 8, of course.
I've got medicine, but I've got a 7.
8 for me as well.
Okay. You don't know how he's died, but you can see there are quite a lot of different marks on him.
Okay, we're down on one knee and just take a moment to say a prayer for him and the others. And then when I stand to my feet, I've determined look upon my face, and we must find the Chancellor and get to the bottom of this blasphemy.
You know that there's 10 cells here. There's probably about, because there's some multiple occupants to some of them, there's probably about 28, 30 men here in these cells.
Phil, whilst they're down in the cellar, do I see anyone else around?
All you see is a few chickens, and you can hear sounds outside of people rushing around and calls.
Okay, I'll go have a look get closer so I can hear what they're shouting.
Okay, so if you go to the entrance and look out, you can see that there's quite a lot of confusion in the yard. Women are trying to usher kids out of the main gate. There are people rushing around. People are trying to herd pigs out and trying to take your horses out the gate.
Can I see the the Chancellor there anywhere?
Can't now.
Okay. I'm going to take, I'll break in a moment, but I'm going to go stroll up to somebody strolling up to them with such purpose that hopefully, if they're facing the other way, I'll be able to approach them kindly, and I will.
Anyone?
As
man, a woman, child?
An adult. An adult. And as I get closer, I'm going to do, it's an innate ability actually, a hypnotic gaze. So I tilt my head to one side and my ear kind of goes down. They make a wisdom saving throw with a DC of 15.
Your pupils blow up really big.
Yeah, they go huge.
I rolled a 9.
Okay, they failed. So they are currently charmed by me and will be visibly dazed. So whilst they're in a kind of charmed state, I say, "Where has the Lord Commander gone?" With my big bulging eyes, my trembling lips.
He left on a cart for Barston.
Which cart?
It's just a cart that was near the yard.
Okay, so I'm going to sprint now. Because assumedly it's going to be the lead cart and not too far away. So I think we all know what's going to happen to it, but let's do that after this break.
Will do. Back in a moment.
Really, when you twiddle with your dice, it's really noisy. Okay. Hello, kitty. You're pretending to be cats. Oh,
Slightly longer break than normal. There was a queue for the loo. Let me check chat, see how... if anyone's chatting, hello.
Hello.
See if our regulars have returned after our 2-week siesta. How'd you do that on this silly thing? Right. We have 4 people watching. Ooh. Gosh, lots of chat. Tons of chat.
There you go.
So Ron is here, Steve's here, and there's... I see you've been involved in chat, as has Jason.
I just popped in and say hello. Don't get much chance when you're playing, like, do you? I think they're enjoying it as it's going.
They had a conversation about having the runs and rust monsters. There is no law command, Sir Bayor. Hold my beer.
Yes, I think they've been having a good old chat.
Whoa.
What's going on with my camera?
That happened last time, didn't it?
Yes. Seriously?
Ooh, that doesn't look good.
No.
Unplug and reconnect. Fixes everything.
Turn it off and turn it on again.
Yeah, but I've lost track about which webcam is plugged in where. um.
Right. Do you need me to come in and do things?
IT support required.
Hello. Which one it is?
It's got a label on it.
I know it does, and I can't find the label.
Do you want me to try?
No.
No? No, that's okay. It's one of them there somewhere.
Yes, it will be.
Jiggle the paper for me.
So Bayor, what do you think you're going to be doing in the next few days?
Okay, so it's this one.
I will be charging upstairs to wreak retribution upon anyone who stands in my way.
Sorry? There's a below. Wait, let me try that. Since I looked on the floor. It is.
It can't be, because there's a plug connected to it. Probably don't want to be hearing this.
We don't seem to be able to get away with a session without some sort of technical problems lately, do we?
That's the nature of the beast.
It's now reconnected.
Should be easier than this, really, shouldn't it?
This day and age, it should be, shouldn't it?
Not rocket science.
And the first.
Oh, actually, isn't it?
Tell you what, this is easily fixed.
Actually, I was going to look to see if I had on my backup drive.
There's some weird conflict with XSplit and
Okay, I've just switched it to this webcam, so try again.
here we go.
There we are. So now you're on this one.
Desktop.
Thank you, darling.
Okay.
Hey, we're back.
Yay! Yay for spare webcams.
He.
So,
Sa.
Sir Bayor is going to be charging up the stairs after his praying, and I believe Kat was about to rush out of the courtyard after the Chancellor.
Yes, babe, you've got the camera select dialogue gear icon thing up on your Hangouts.
What?
It's not your video isn't updating for us. You might need to reselect it.
Oh, okay. But
I mean, if it's working for you, I guess that's something. We'll just see you as a dialogue screen, I guess. Yes, so my thinking is to find a spare horse.
Okay, currently all your horses are being led out of the compound.
Okay, I shall sprint across the compound, jump onto the back of my horse, and gallop off.
Okay, so you have to sort of, as you jump on the horse, obviously the guy who's leading it out has got hold of the reins.
I'll hit him with my staff of power.
Okay, you smack him across the shoulders with your staff of power. And let's go the horse's reins. And you grab and hook on the back. What happens to the guy that was mesmerised?
He'll be fine.
Yeah, but is he still mesmerised?
No.
Okay.
No, he'd have come out of it. It wasn't the spell charmed or anything like that, so it hasn't got the adverse effects. But because it's a tabaxi thing where I just make them kind of drool a bit.
Okay, so he sort of shakes his head and starts this, what happened there, sort of thing. And as you jump on the horse and gallop out of the archway, and which way are you going?
Right, so my thinking is he won't have gone far. There'll be a number of carts leaving the castle, and he's likely the lead one.
Okay, what the scene you see from outside is there are a number of families running straight across the road and off into the fields on the opposite side of the road. There are some people walking up the road, and down the road you can see a number of these guards and a cart.
That will be the one. Okay.
The road towards Marston.
Okay. I want to know when I'm 150 feet from the horse that are pulling the carriage.
Do you get a ruler?
150 feet. So you're going to take off after him then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you take off after him. One of the guards in front of you shouts a warning ahead. And you can see a red-clothed man on the cart turn and look back, and shouts a couple of orders and shouts some orders. Then 3 or 4 of these soldiers sort of turn and block the road as they carry on down towards Barston.
Stand aside if you want to see your families again, as I gallop forward.
They do stand in the road with their spears out.
Oh, they had to make it complicated. Fine. As I charge through them, I will actually use the staff, because I don't want to kill these people if I don't have to. So I'm going to use the Staff of Power. It has the Globe of Invulnerability, and I will trigger that on myself and charge through them, and then carry on.
Okay, so that just works, doesn't it?
I believe so. It's an invulnerable sphere around me for a brief period of time. As for what happens to them as a globe of that they can't penetrate and a horse charges through them, I imagine they're scattered and have some bruises, but at least they're not dead.
Yeah, you're obviously carrying quite a lot of momentum with you and the weight of the horse as well. So you charge down the road and you trigger this globe of invulnerability as you just hit these men, and they do indeed go sprawling off to the sides of the road. A couple of spears break. You hear a few shouts, and you're through them and on the way down the road towards the cart. The guy on the cart looks around and sees you still coming and starts whipping the horse faster and faster.
Yeah, but they're pulling a cart, so... and I seem to recall that we stole the Emperor's horses, so...
We did.
So yes, you can. You can reach 150 feet or yards. Feet.
Feet. Yes. Yes. And I fireball the horses.
You can fireball the horses
on the cart. Yes.
Okay. But they're going to hit the cart first.
Yeah, I can tangent slightly. You know, you don't need to come far off from behind them to see the front, do you? So.
Okay, so yes, fireball then.
Mm-hmm. And this one I am casting as opposed to using the Staff of Power. So the horses, which are in restraints, because they're in tackle or whatever it's called.
Yes, bridle. Yeah.
So they have to make a dexterity save at DC 15, and I would imagine that's, I would suggest, disadvantage for the tackle.
Okay. Don't think I've ever crossed anyone that's fighting with a horse before. Okay, so it's going to be... Okay, so 3.
Yeah, they definitely failed. They've taken 29 points of damage each. Yeah, each. I'm just checking the blast radius.
And aroma of fried
20
horse.
foot. 20-foot radius.
Oh, you've been
May have been overkill. That might have been a bit too big.
You've engulfed the cart as well with that.
Yeah, sorry. It's achieved my objective.
Yes, so the cart, the horses, and the chancellor all catch light at the same time. In a big, and it's quite a roar as this thing goes up.
Stop in the name of the Emperor and the Knights of whatever Sir Bayor is. And then the name of the Lord Commander.
So you've achieved that then. You've achieved that.
Okay, I'll ride up to the smouldering ruin. Is the Chancellor still alive?
Would he have received 29 hit points as well?
Well, arguably he would also make a dex save.
Okay.
Because he might only take half damage. And you might give him advantage for being in the cover of the cart.
Okay, we had an 18 then.
Which would pass, so we'd take half damage. So 14.
14, and he actually gets... Oh, you still killed him by a point.
Not killed him yet. He'll be making life-death saves. I want this man to die in one of his prisons along with all the corpses he put in there. So I'm going to tend to his wounds.
As you watch, a hand comes out from underneath the burning wreckage of the car and claws its way out from onto the open road.
A hand?
Well, it's attached to the race hand first. It is attached to the rest of it.
Okay, I will start doing... I will roll him over to put the flames out, and I will start doing medical stuff, trying to make sure he doesn't die.
And he's moaning and groaning. Is quite bad. What's everyone else doing down in the dungeons? Sir Bayor has got his blood up and he's rushing upstairs.
Well, we probably heard a massive rumble from outside.
It is like a big roar. As this flame went up. Yeah.
In which case, I'd start rushing up and go, oh, for God's sake, cat.
If Sir Bayor needs to see the wealth as well, I can show him where those are.
That's... No, he runs straight past that left branch and start running upstairs.
Okay.
The wealth forgotten.
Up into the main hall, first hall, and it's empty. If you rush forward out into the yard, there is a guard standing there, and he's sort of like, "Ooh, what happened then?" Looking about, not knowing what's going on. And there's people, say, rushing out of the gate and getting their belongings together and leaving.
Where's the Chancellor?
I assume you see a huge fireball pouring out from a...
See a big black cloud just billowing up the wall.
I say to the lone guard, have you seen a large hairless cat anywhere?
There was someone here. It was gone, but just like that, just disappeared. I don't know what happened.
Was it over there? And I pointed at the big black cloud.
Might have been. I don't know.
Thought so.
Well, you should be leaving the castle. And he blocks your disappear. You should be leaving. You have to stay here.
Where's our horses at the moment? Are they still being led out or have they been left behind?
I was going to say, on the way back, as I slowly trot back, I'll assumedly pass the person with the rest of our horses.
Yeah, the horses have gone.
Yeah, I just shove him against the wall to get out of the way.
Oh. So, what are you doing?
And then, yeah, presumably we'll find out quite quickly the horses are gone, so I start sprinting over to the mushroom cloud.
Okay, so Kat's on her way back on her horse back up the road from the mushroom cloud.
Yeah, Chancellor over the horse, and presumably we're going to pass the person that was leading the rest of our horses.
Yes, you are, yes.
And I shall stop in front of them and say, those are ours.
He looks at you and looks back and sees the rest of you running down the road towards him. And he says, fair enough. And he lets go. And he takes off into the fields, into the crops.
Okay, and I'll grab the lead rein and continue trotting back to the castle.
So you meet Cat coming back with all your horses.
Mm-hmm. Chancellor sort of over the horse in front of me, gurgling in pain.
And you can see, actually, there's quite a few dotted around, but quite a few in all of farm workers who just sort of stopped working in the fields and just watching.
That's probably going to attract unwarranted attention.
Well, of course it is. Who's seen one of those before? I point the mushroom cloud.
And the smell of burnt horse is quite strong there as well. Horse steak.
Get the trays back inside.
Okay. How far did you heal him, Cat?
I just stabilised his wounds.
Okay, so he's there. He's sort of like drifting from unconsciousness back into consciousness and back again. Still quite badly burnt, but alive.
Shouldn't we execute him in front of the villagers? You know, as an example.
I would have thought imprisonment in cells.
I need to question him first.
Without attendance.
Oh yes, I see your point, but people should know about this.
And he sort of comes around for a second and says, "Oh, let me go. You've killed me. Let me die."
I suggest anybody who stands with the Chancellor sort of has the option of standing or walking away, and they stand with them, then we hang them. That would be a good example, isn't it?
Ah, yeah, good idea, from the tower.
Yeah.
I'm afraid you've left the Lord Commander very angry.
There is no Lord Commander.
Sorry, you cut out there, babe.
I said, you've made the Lord Commander very angry.
There is no Lord Commander anymore.
Oh, there is. I'd hate to be you right now.
So what's the surveyor going to do?
Surveyor will place a hand upon Chancellor's chest and imbue him with 5 points of health.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't die straight away.
Just noticeably,
Like how you beating hard.
noticeably better.
You will face your crimes.
What do you mean? What are you going to do to me? Will you just let me die?
I need an explanation. I need to know who the true traitor was.
Him.
Well, what do you mean? It's when those knights got sent away on that quest, and I never came back, and I saw a chance of taking over.
Even so close to death, he dribbles such lies.
But that's what happened.
Okay.
You imprisoned the rest of the order?
Not entirely. He said the Lord Commander imprisoned some of them. He was a fool.
I thought it was all of them, sorry.
He was a fool. I got him to imprison some of his own people. And he didn't take much to drug the rest. You're all fools, you knights. You don't appreciate money.
You will hang this evening.
It's better than living like this. He's still pretty burnt.
Mm-hmm. We'll drag him back, throw him in the cells, and we'll hang him this evening. Or I will.
Okay, you're going to hang him this evening.
I turned to some Bior, whatever his name is. Bior? Yeah. I'm going to suggest that maybe we should take the bodies of the knight from ourselves and get the militiamen that were had hired to bury them. And then we'll hang the militiamen.
The castle is pretty much emptied now. Everything that was here has gone.
We still need to bury the bodies of the knights. We can't just leave them there.
Yeah.
No, but it would be interesting to see how he'd feel after a few hours in there with them.
Yeah. Leaving in there with the Lord Commander's body, that'd be interesting. Poetic, almost.
I don't know much about ghosts and spirits, but that'd be something to see, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, walk past occasionally in the dark and go, woo. Once I was still door.
So,
Yes.
what are you can who's taking them down to the cells then?
Yeah, I can do that.
You can throw him in the Lord Commander. Okay, you can do that, and you can leave him in the dark with the dead body. It's a bit smelly in there because obviously he's been in there for quite a while.
Okay. I shall start to take the rest out one by one for the burial.
Is what's everyone doing? Is there anyone?
I'm going to put my feet up and read a book.
Okay. Where are you two doing that? Where are you doing that to?
Where am I reading the book, or where is he burying them?
Where are you reading?
Oh, I'll do it in the courtyard now. I'll just sit there, find some bit of box or something to lay on, curl up on, and start reading.
Okay. Valen, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going to basically sit outside and sort of meditate a little while, a bit of resting, do my trance.
Okay. So, as you're doing these things, and so Brayor, are you taking the bodies up to the chapel, or?
Whatever the protocol would be, maybe to the chapel first to lie in state for however long.
Yeah, normally on a proper burial, if there was anybody left, because obviously a lot of your guys die on missions and in fights and things, and they don't always make it back to the chancellery. So yeah, if they died here, they would be laying in state in the chapel, and the head people might have their ashes interred in the chapel. In fact, sort of reliquaries or whatever. So you're doing that. Is Rorik? Are you helping him, or what are you up to?
Only if he wants me to. If not, I'd be more than happy to take a drink down into the cells and talk about what happens to half-dwarfs when they betray their kind.
All being well, Gerard suddenly makes an appearance, and he can help me.
Oh yes, he can help you. So
It might be your first night, actually, Gerard. I think you need a new batch of knights.
Yeah.
The two in the yard. You've been there for a while, and Cat's getting quite into the book. Valen's off in his trance when several armed men appear in the gateway. Uniformed men this time, more efficient and a lot more professional than the last occupants of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can come out of my trance like instantly, so I'll just make my eyes and look on my sitting position, see who it is. And obviously I noticed Cat's where he noticed, so we're both sort of noticing these things. Probably the two dangerous ones. The sneaky ones that you've got to be careful of.
One man walks forward into the yard, clear of the shadow of the wall, out into the sunlight, and he says, "You put down your weapons and come here." And then the gateway fills with men behind him.
I'm gonna look behind me and just think, what weapons? Because I mean, you're reading the book and I'm sitting there. Think that who are you talking to?
On the contrary, books contain knowledge. That's the most powerful weapon in the land.
That is a dangerous weapon. We should have this discussion whilst this bloke is standing there.
Yes. That's my point, yes.
I know. Oh, well, maybe that's what he meant then. Maybe he meant the book you're holding. What is the book you're reading anyway, by the way? Is it dangerous?
It is somewhat, yes.
Ah, right, okay. The oldie builds in Booden.
It's...
Stop fooling around. I've given you an order.
Who are you?
So he's giving us an order, apparently.
Because this is an order of knights, and you're not the Lord Commander. I answer to the Lord Commander. So, who are you?
I am Sergeant Belston of the Town Guard. We've come to investigate the fire and we've heard the stories from the people rushing away from here that you have killed a number of people and have taken over the tower away from the Chancellor.
Not quite as it happens. The Chancellor killed the old Lord Commander and the knights within and took control of the tower, having committed murder. He has already been tried. He will be executed later today.
That is a very serious accusation. He says, what proof do you have of that?
Well, basically...
all of the bodies that are currently being taken to the chapel, his own confession, and all of the gold he accrued, which is, of course, property of the Order.
Yeah, and the so many dead bodies of the knights that he actually entombed into the actual prison cell. So thank you, Sir Bellend. We've got it all covered. You can go.
And he says, well, of course he's in charge of the castle after the knights have left. Of course he's in charge of the gold and the castle. Everyone knows this.
But he didn't leave.
As I said, his own confession.
When did this happen? He says, I've not heard any confession. Where is he?
After I arrested him in the name of the Lord Commander and the Emperor.
There is no Lord Commander. What are you talking about?
There is now.
Sir Bayor is the Lord Commander. Oh, does this help? And I show him the chit for the Emperor's mother.
Okay, so you walk over. It comes over a couple of guards.
I'm still lying there. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not sitting there. I'm not repeating. Sort of watching him very impressed.
Book's still open in front of me.
And you're seeming... You're so relaxed position makes him a little bit on edge. Actually, he's something's not right here. Normally, when the guard turn up and he starts shouting at people jump. This is quite different. He's quite an experienced guy. This one, he's a sergeant in the guard. He, in particular, looks quite professional, and the guard looked quite capable.
Yeah, neither of us care, to be honest. I think
comes up and he takes the paper and he studies it a bit, and he says, "Who's that there?" And he points at the name on the page.
That's the Emperor.
The Emperor's mother. It's the Emperor's mother.
Oh,
As well as answering to Sir Bayor, I also serve the Emperor's mother.
And by just line of family, the Emperor, I guess.
And he examines the seal quite closely.
Mm-hmm.
And he says,
"Literate, Sergeant Bellend."
He wraps it up, he rolls it back up, and he hands it back to you and goes, "I will need to talk to this Bayor."
He's currently burying people over in the chapel.
How many did you kill? He said.
Only those we had to. In fact, I didn't kill any. Two guards under the orders of the Chancellor were sent in against us. And, well, actually many were sent in against us. Two, unfortunately, were killed. Other than that, we very much tried not to kill anyone. After all, as far as I'm concerned, those men were just doing their job.
In fact, actually, some of the townspeople actually rose up with us because they were so disgusted by the Chancellor's actions. I think it was actually the townsfolk that killed the guards. I couldn't tell you what they looked like or who they were. They just disappeared, and that's just how it was. I mean, I wouldn't be able to pinpoint them now in a crowd, really. But yeah, I think that was probably what happened. It was an uprising against tyranny. Used to be pleased and proud of it.
So all these men were paid for by the Chancellor. These other people were their families.
Yeah. Some of them just didn't like what they were doing, and some of the guards weren't happy with it either, which is why they let us get away with what we did. And they all walked home and went back to their families.
He puts a foot on the bottom step and says, "I need to talk to this Bayor."
Chuckle. I'll point upwards.
He starts walking up the steps into the first hall, and he might see Sir Bayor going up the steps or coming down the steps.
Uh-huh.
And he says to you, "Sir Bayor."
So there, it is I.
Your friends, colleagues, associates outside say that you are assuming the mantle of Lord Commander, and the Chancellor has done something wrong.
They speak the truth. Yes. I will be acting commander until such times as the position is filled officially.
He says, I cannot make this decision on this myself, he says. I'm only a sergeant in the city, in the town guard. You will need to come to the town and make a petition to the governor.
Very well.
We need to get this sorted out. You'll also have to bring the Chancellor, release the Chancellor, and we can take him to the town as well. And this will have to be decided in a proper manner.
Okay, now would we be under the jurisdiction of this town official as an order or not?
Possibly not as an order, but they have to establish that you are the order.
Right.
I mean, you as a member of the order, you would know certain things about the order that someone just impersonating wouldn't. You could probably prove it by producing records from the library of your involvement and deeds.
Yeah, name and stuff and rank and all that governs.
Yeah, and
Wage packet, payslip.
Like the orders of the mission, what your mission was, the orders of that for the High Chancellor, by Commander.
Five.
Wouldn't you think that in an order that the reign of possession would go down as each night until the actual hierarchy would go to the Elder Knight, which would basically be the male.
I will go with him.
Utility bill,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is everybody going with him, or are you staying at the castle?
If the Chancellor's being moved, then I'm definitely going with the Chancellor. I think it's good I make sure he doesn't change his story at any point.
Okay, so the Chancellor will be propped up by the two guards with the sergeant, and he will. They've basically walked up the road from the town, so they will be walking back as well. They can, if the Chancellor is in too bad a state, can make a stretcher and carry him 4 of them all make a stretcher out of spears and carry him.
He should be all right. He got given hit points back and stuff, didn't he?
As you near Boston, you can see it's a walled town. It's quite large, and there's a lot of smoke rising from chimneys. You can see quite grey, steep-sided, grey slated roofs inside. When you go in, the houses are passing the arched gateway. As you pass under the arched gateway, you can see the houses are like a Tudor sort of timber frame with white paneling to it, and the bottom half is like a red brick. The streets are quite crowded and they're quite dirty. There's quite a lot of people living here, and they escort you through the town, past many streets, lots of stalls, lots of street hawkers, and to the main square. In the main square, there's a. Sorry, was you going to say something? Anyone?
I was just thinking that I was born in this town, so it's
around here. So there's the inns and stuff, and a lot of the places. You come to the main square. There's a monument in the centre, and off the far side of the square is the town hall. You're taken to the town hall and processed inside up a small flight of stairs into a large hall. The hall is lined with quite well dressed guildsmen and some soldiers, and sitting in a chair at the far end is a very well dressed man. And the guard sergeant takes you up to there and says. He bows to this, Lord Governor. These are the people that were found at the tower. We brought the Chancellor as well. There seems to be some dispute about what happened, and this man, who indicates Serbior, claims to be the new new Lord Commander. So the Governor looks at you and says, Lord Commander, eh? I thought all you knights were gone.
We have returned, and it is a good job I have. We have uncovered great injustice.
Great injustice? From what I heard, it was treachery to the Emperor you were dispatched for. And this ragtag band you have with you said, what are they all? He looks at Rorik and says,
I am from the domain of Silver.
Oh. Well, he looks at looks to the person to his left and says, "Wow, we've certainly heard of them." He says,
"Indeed, you have."
That is quite impressive. And what are you doing with such a man as this? He says, indicates Serbior. Is he who says he is?
He is. In terms of how we met, that was fate, luck, whatever you call it, but we've travelled ever since.
What sort of identification would you carry to know that you are?
I'd probably have something like, maybe like a band of some sort that I wear.
Okay, so if you sort of like you can
necklace.
Flash that out as sort of evidence, and they are quite impressed with that. They've heard of the domain of Silver before, and apparently you have there is some paper that's come from a reputable source as well. He says.
Yeah, I gestured to Cats.
Oh yes, I work for the Emperor's mother.
And he looks at Cats. What is that?
And my connection here is I'm the pet.
He takes the scroll and reads it. Says, "This is a pretty high recommendation," he says. But Sir Bayor, you travel in such strange company. an elf, a cat. Well, how comes you've mixed up with such people?
Well, we do not choose the people who we accompany on certain missions as grave as the ones we were.
And have you brought anything from the tower to prove your statement that you're a member of the order?
There would be some official record of my knighting.
Yes, there would be. Yes, so you could have brought that with you as well. So you can probably prove to his satisfaction that you are who you say you are. So he says, right then, now we've established your identity. What is this dispute between you and the Chancellor?
I believe the Chancellor can answer that by repeating his confession. And I look at him and smile to reveal my teeth.
The Chancellor goes, these people just turned up and decided to take back the castle. They didn't believe me when I said that I was caretaking the order for them.
I don't believe that's what you said earlier, is it?
Well, I've been doing this for years. He said, these people know me. They know they can trust me. I spend a lot of money here with the guilds people of the town.
Did you or did you not admit to drugging knights, throwing them in the cellars?
No, that's this. It's the Lord Commander went mad. He said and did that. That's not something I would do. I know nothing about drugs or anything. I'm basically came to.
At that, I pipe up and say, the Lord Commander has a large scar on his arm, does he not? How would I know this unless I'd seen him myself? In the cellar.
You cut out there, babe. He said in the cellar.
I said, how would I know this unless I'd seen him myself in the cellar?
He doesn't know what to say now. He's it's I don't know how someone put him there. Obviously, when he was insane, we had to lock him away.
You should also know that if somehow your lie is convincing, I will still kill you before they arrest me, easily. So, I would suggest telling the truth.
Governor, you have to protect me. You have to protect me. They're all mad. They're just kill anybody.
No.
She's already trying to burn me alive, he says, pointing at the cat. They're trying to burn me alive.
I did, but I didn't kill your other men, did I?
No, true. No.
No. And I actually ensured you didn't die. That's also true. I was witnessed by many.
It's because you said you wanted to torture me.
No. I was arresting you in the name of the Lord Commander. I believe I shouted that out quite loudly, so that would be hard to deny as well, wouldn't it?
He just wants to take all the treasure for himself.
The treasure? Sorry, that belongs to the Order.
Yes, but he wants to take it away. That's what he wants to do. He wants to take all the treasure for himself, and no doubt share it out amongst these thieves and cutthroats.
I am exceedingly wealthy, as are all of my friends. They all own estates.
So the governor says, obviously, from what I can see in this paper, you do have quite estates, quite wealthy estates. Sir Bayor has proved himself to be a member of the Order, and Mr. Rorik come from the Dominion of Silver. I'm afraid the credentials are beyond reproach. It must be that the Chancellor must be lying if he says this, and they say, and they all hold the same story, that it's wrong. We will restrain the Lord Chancellor for the Chancellor for now, he says, and what we'll do is we'll we'll put him to the question and find out the truth.
Do you have a means of ensuring he tells the truth?
We'll use magic means. He will certainly tell the
Good.
truth.
Good. I'm so glad you have that available.
We will restrain him, and we will call the old woman that performs this duty for us. But that will probably be tomorrow now.
I want to make sure he does not escape. I'll quite happily share his cell.
Well, we've never had anybody offer to do that for anybody. The cells are quite unpleasant.
It's okay, I've got a good book to read and I can sleep pretty much anywhere.
Okay, if you like to follow the guards, and 2 guards step up and grab the Chancellor, who's fallen to his knees now, and sort of like just drag him backwards, and going, no, it's not true, it's not true. And they drag him away, and I presume Cat follows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the governor says, well, Sir Bayor, or Lord Commander, I am sorry you had to go through this, but I think we have it all settled now.
Well, you've removed him from my jurisdiction. He was going to hang this evening.
He still might hang yet, sir.
Giving him a slight reprieve.
But he will be tried properly in a court.
Very good.
May I ask what your intentions are now? Are you returning to the tower? Are you re-establishing the order?
I haven't decided as yet. I have bodies of my companions, compatriots, to bury to sort, and I have one more thing I wish to do this evening. And I'll just glance over at what do I call him? Gregor, not Gregor.
Gerard.
Gerard, yeah. There's one more thing we must do together.
Okay. So, if you're quite welcome to stay in the town, Lord Commander, we have some nice inns you can stay in.
Well, we'll be residing in the Order's tower.
Very good. Okay. Well, I thank you for attending this council and obviously not putting up a fight but abiding by the law. That's very kind of you. You're obviously not bound by these petty rules outside of the tower.
As much as I would have liked to have slain him myself upon retrieving him.
Well, if
you abide by the law.
If you petition us now, he says, then if he is found guilty, we could hand him back to you. If you would like to make that petition.
I would. Yes, my anger is still high. We must.
So he looks as you're talking. He looks to his left and nods to someone standing at his side who makes a note on a scroll. He's got a wood desk. He's got one arm. He makes a note. Very good, sir. But he says that is noted. We will present that to the court tomorrow.
Thank you.
And you can leave if you wish.
I wish to leave. Yes.
Okay, so actually, I just need to ask, Kat, do you have the spell book and the stone with you?
Was it a spell book? I thought it was a creation myth book. But yes, I do.
Yes, no, it was a creation myth book. Yes, okay.
Yes, I do indeed.
Okay, so are the three of you heading back towards the tower then?
Reluctantly. I'd much more rather socialise a bit in an inn.
Well, you can if you want. And catch up with them later.
Yes,
I'd be
by all
tempted to.
means.
If there's one nearby.
There's plenty of inns in Boston.
I'll head back to the tower. I don't really want to integrate too much with humans if I can help it.
Okay.
If you mingle with the right folk, you can blend in well.
So, Sir Vaylin and Sir Bayor, what are you doing when you get back to the tower? Are you? It's
Yeah.
empty now, so.
I'm going to be finishing off laying the bodies out in the correct manner, accompanied by I've forgotten his name again.
Gerard.
Gerard, that's the one. Yeah. Sorry, Gerard. And then when they've all been laid out, I shall hopefully find Vaylin, because I wish him to be a witness to the knighting of Gerard.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there's now 2 knights in the order. So you can do that. I don't know what the ceremony you want to perform.
It would involve him swearing allegiance to the order, such as it is. And me being a knight could thus give him his knighthood for what it's worth. In actual fact, yeah, tomorrow may bring a. Might even end up leaving him here to guard this place while we go off and do our thing with the stone.
Okay. So that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Then you hold a nice ceremony for him, and you can knight him. He's all very proud. He's got an armory he can take armor from, and you can obviously replace any kit you need from the armory.
That money the Emperor gave you is still there, You don't have to not accept it. You can always take it and put the money back into. Well, you've got shit tons of money in the actual placement, haven't you? So you don't need to do that. Just ignore me, old sharp.
You're personally well off as well now. So. But Rorik, what sort of time do you get back if you do?
Well, knowing Rorik, he'd probably try and sleep there, and that's one of his traits anyway. Being a folk hero, people are very hospitable to him.
Yeah.
So they probably coax him in to sleep at one of the inns.
You have quite a good evening. There's lots of beer. You've made a load of friends quite easily. There's singing and dancing going on, and storytelling late into the night. And the booze is flowing, and everyone wakes up with stinking hangovers the next day. Everyone's sort of like, it was going on so late and drunk so much, loads of people sort of passed out in the bar where they were sitting. And you sort of like come around a little bit, maybe a tad worse for wear. Quite a heavy night the night before.
But worth it.
Despite your constitution. Kat, you spend a night in this cell with the Chancellor. I don't know if are you going to give him much chance to sleep, or are you just going to torture him with words all night?
I'm going to read my book.
Okay.
I'm just keeping an eye on him. He is not escaping.
Okay. Are you in the cell or outside the cell?
It depends how tired I get. If I get too tired, I will sleep outside the cell.
Okay.
But I'm going to try to stay awake.
He spends the first maybe 3/4 an hour trying to beg you to release him. But when he realizes that's no good, he actually does turn over and get some sleep, and you are left to read your book if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Next day, as Rorik is coming around in the bar, and the jailers are opening the door to feed the Chancellor his daily gruel. After that, they'll drag him out and out into a small room where there's an old lady sitting in the corner on a stool. Are you following him into the room as well, or?
Provided I'm allowed to, yes.
There's guards in the room with him, so you're allowed to go in. And she chants a little bit. She throws some dust at his face, and then she gives him a big slap on the side of the face, and he sort of falls off. He falls to the floor, and she says, "Tell me what I want to know. Did you kill the Lord Commander of the Order?" And he says, yes, I did. I killed him. I killed them all. It was my plan. And she says, why did you do it? He said, for the money. I did it for the money. There was so much money up there, and they weren't using it. They were just hoarding it. All the riches they'd taken, all the riches they'd stolen and acquired. And he said, all the taxes from their lands. He said it was all in the treasury. So that's his confession. That's why he did it. So on hearing that, the jury convict him and hand him back to the order for punishment. And he's escorted back to the tower by 4 guards, if Cat would like to go with him.
Uh-huh.
Rorik, are you already there, or you go back with them?
Yeah, I'll go back with them, because I imagine it takes a little bit of time for me to get out there.
Okay. So yes, you can travel back. When you get to the tower, the actual outside gate is shut.
I put my hand on it and cast knock. So unless it's magically shut, it will open. Because I'm not flapping around with doorbells.
The door does open, but a head you recognise appears above the parapet and looks down, and it's Gerard. And he shouts down, "Oh, you come back, okay. I would have let you if you just waited a minute."
I don't. I just stroll through. My legs are dragging. I find the box that I was reading the book on yesterday, and I lie down on it, and I don't get the book out. I just fall asleep.
Okay. The guards go as far as the bottom step of the tower, and they'll stop there, and they'll hand over the Chancellor to Rorik and Gerard. And they say that he's yours to deal with now. They've convicted him. Anything you want to do?
Good. Let's get on with it then. I guess this will be your first, Gerard.
Yeah. I've not. Well, I mean, apart from the battle at the river, I saw that.
Well, you're about old enough, I suppose. If I get the age right, and he starts sort of counting human years on his fingers.
What are you going to do? And the Chancellor is sort of snivelling, and you could let me go. I won't do anything again. I'll go away. You'll never see me.
No, you're not going to do anything again. That's the point.
And I suppose Jar can run in and start shouting for Lord High Commander, Lord High Commander.
Oh, wow, that's still sounds strange. Yeah. I'll go back. I'll go out.
Okay, and the Chancellor's there. Said they brought him up. They brought him up from the town.
All right. Stables presumably will have a ceiling high enough with a crossbeam on it that we could use.
Yeah, probably would.
So we'll.
The stables are off to one side, sort of built against the outside wall. That's built into the outside wall as part of the outside wall sort of construction.
Does the top of the tower have a roof? Like an actual roof you could walk on?
Yes, it does. Yes, I mean there's parapets up on the top. It's like a Norman tower. So yeah, there's parapets on top and a roof in the centre.
Well, if there's a crossbeam on there, he would make a good spectacle.
You could hang it from the battlements.
But I'll leave that up to you, Sabeo.
Yeah, I think I should do this as not to be a public execution, but to be a private execution. So we'll use the stables, mount him on the horse, hands tied behind his back, hood over his head, noose.
Okay.
Do you have any last words?
I hate you all, you bloody knights.
Very good. For crimes against the order, murder of 28 men, including the High Commander. I pronounce the sentence is death. I slap the horse's rump.
Yep, and he's off the back of the horse and dances a bit and then hangs.
It is done.
It is done. What are you all going to do now? What's the next step for you?
I think getting the hell out of Dodge as quickly as possible.
Well, Cat's asleep on the box, but the plan was to go north to that other place.
Radcliffe, yes.
Yeah.
Could always pick the box up and put it on a cart and set off.
Yes, I mean, if you're going right away,
well, we don't know how far behind us they are.
you don't know. I mean,
Word would have spread.
Word is probably spreading that the guard, now will spread that the Lord Commander's returned to the castle, to the tower. Certainly. How fast that will travel and in which direction necessarily.
Yeah, all that money is a liability now. It's I'm not going to be able to use it. I think the order is at an end.
Get Gregory, what's his name, to hire some men and equip them well.
Sir Gregor.
Gerard. You do have the...
I remember his name.
Can't remember his own page's name or his own steward's name. You do have an armory. The Chancellor didn't use the good armor in the armory. He just gave them crap. He just basically bought them because they were cheap. He sacked all the expensive people and bought in anybody just to because they were cheap, saving money on wages as well.
Right, so Gerard, you are tasked with defending the tower with your life. So assemble as many men as you possibly can, and hopefully trustworthy ones.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the honor guarding the tower. Any advice you'd like to give me on choosing men?
Don't go for the scrawny ones.
Yeah. Well, choose men like me.
Yes, sir. He says.
That should do it. And yourself. You should be able to tell these men. You remember the men who were here when we arrived?
Yes, sir.
The men who were slaves to money? Those are not the ones you need. You need loyalty and piety.
Yes, sir. Well, I will do my best, sir.
Very good. And I'll offer my hand and clasp arms with him.
You do have the opportunity before you leave the tower of taking any money you think you might need for your trip as well. I'll just remind you.
Yeah. All right, I will do. I won't take advantage of it, obviously. But if I feel we'll need something to replenish what we've spent or what we've lost, then yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So you can prepare your kit. You've got access to everything that's in the tower. There's food and supplies, and there's obviously you've got your horses. They're quite well rested now.
Oh yeah, there was a fruit bowl upstairs, wasn't there? I wasn't take that with us.
You can refill your wine flasks and water flasks, and you can head off north to Radcliffe, which I think is a good place to leave it tonight. 2:15.
Cool.
Well done, guys. That's good.
Thank you very much for that session.
Yes, some nice things going on there. Yeah, good.
Background for Sir Bayor.
Mm-hmm.
Me Lord Commander Bayor. Actually, as Kat would call him, Lord Commander Sir Bayor, because she has never actually twigged that Sir Bayor is 2 words. And I have done that throughout this entire campaign, and no one has noticed.
Well, I did wonder. It sounded a bit like Serbia.
Nice.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you. And see you, Ronnie and Steve, next week.
Thank you for watching.
All right, I'm in the broadcast. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.